Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin.
Hey, fellow babies, and welcome to our weekend update show where we're going to take you through some stories, news, headlines, and maybe a walk in the sewer as well for some stuff that you probably should know and maybe you missed. There's some giggles, there's some oohs, there's some ahs. People will get fired, people will get hired, and we won't make a difference at all. Dunk, how's it going?
Right.
Oh, that good.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know we had Snuffleupagus with us today.
I've been fighting black dog all bloody weekend, so high anxiety and all that kind of shit. So just thank God the orange shit gibbon has been quiet too. So nothing to get too riled up about.
Yeah, not even hitting the golf course, it seems. Commander, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Yeah, you think that we can deliver some knowledge today along with a little fluff?
I tell you what, I will tell you this thing that it has been reported that Trump has gone to the golf course this weekend, but the press corps were not allowed to get anywhere near him or even take photographs of him on the golf course or getting into the motorcade. So just a bunch of cars turned up, drove off to the golf course, and nobody knows nothing. So God knows if he went or not.
Maybe his mind
Let
is...
you know that he's still in good health and perfectly capable of golfing.
Well,
yeah.
But maybe that's why they...
bedridden and incoherent.
But maybe, Commander, that's why they wouldn't let anybody around, because they have to have somebody point them at the hole every time. And
absolutely.
Right,
Yes.
Yeah.
Think of Stormy Daniels, Mr. Trump. Just put it in the hole. Put it in the hole.
Stormy Daniels.
Isn't that what Melania says?
Yeah, not to him.
Probably true.
You can put it in some other dirty bitch's hole.
Yeah. Do not touch me.
She's Mexican,
Yeah.
This has gone up to 3 million.
I wonder how much he does have to pay every time he touches her hand like that in public.
Oh, it's about 100,000 if he does it accidentally.
Yeah. That's why his hand's all bruised. Just keep slapping him. Yeah. So, where should we start off here? Who wants to go? What wants to what? I mean, if we want to keep it on, because we are on Trump, I do have a Trump one we could just launch into.
Go for it.
Right?
Feel free.
So the Wall Street Journal has reported that the Trump administration has offered 9 schools. These are universities, you know, the big ivory towers or whatever, a deal. Manage your universities in a way that aligns with administration policies and priorities, and you could get substantial and meaningful federal grants along with other benefits. Failure to accept this bargain will result in a withdrawal of federal programs that would likely cripple most universities. The offer's been sent out to a mixture of state and private universities and would see the government basically dictate everything from hiring and admission standards to grading, and has provisions that appeared intended to make conservative ideas and ideals not only more welcome on campus, but the driving force.
Wait, are they putting Pete Hegseth in charge of the education now?
Well, it's the Department of War, don't you know? It's
You can only have students and teachers that come up to the proper military standard and of male physicalness.
yeah. So there's a lot of pressure, and like if they can get this kind of dig into higher education, the fallout, Commander, over even just a few years or so.
Oh, yeah. No, authoritarian regimes, that's one of the first targets they have of corrupting is education, because that's how you groom people to be more obedient and more respectful and more, not asking questions of the rulers.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're talking about, like, when they say, this is an article from Ars Technica. When they say this is a move that could literally like cripple these places, they're not kidding. There is serious amounts of money on the table.
Very much.
Yeah, it was sent to Arizona Brown, Dartmouth College, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Pennsylvania, and a bunch of others. Ars Technica attained a copy of this, and it makes the scope of the bargain very clear. Institutions of higher education are free to develop models and values other than these below, if the institution elects to forego federal benefits.
Yep. Yeah, everything is going to be made conditional because that's how he thinks, transactional.
Yeah.
You want to get something from the government, you must give something back to me.
Exactly.
Notice that it's not give something back to the government. It's give back something to me personally.
Yeah. It goes really into foreign students. Because they're really concerned about them saturating the campus with noxious values such as anti-Semitism and other anti-American values, and creating serious national security risks, as they call them. So it goes on to say that you will control and eliminate protesting on campus. You're going to be very limited to foreign students, and if you go over, you're going to be in trouble.
And that's an important one, because foreign students are a big source of money for universities because they charge full fare.
Yes.
As opposed to state institutions. If you're from the state, you're getting a reduced rate.
Exactly.
So
yeah, I would imagine at this current moment in time, there's probably not a lot of foreign students too keen to go to America at the minute.
There's nothing that could get me to do it if I was looking for a place to take my foreign.
I suspect that at this point it's more geared towards continuing students as opposed to new students. Because, if you've been at University of Nebraska for 2 years, you want to finish out the other 2 years, because, if you go back to Ouagadougou, right, you have to start everything all over again. The credits are transferable, but they don't count towards your degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
And besides, if we're going to go down the racist front, it's not Ouagadougou, it's Bungo land.
Yeah.
as one of our great politicians once
I
said.
didn't want to say a certain country that kind of sits atop of Vietnam and underneath Mongolia, because that's where a huge number of foreign students come from.
Yes.
And those are the ones that the government has security concerns about.
Right.
The other part that this is playing to, which is important, is that one of the MAGA slant conservative complaints for a long time is that those foreign students are taking up slots that could be given to deserving American students. So the universities are pushing them out so they can bring in full ride paying foreign students.
Right.
That's the argument. And we all know what that means. That means the white neo-Nazi didn't get in, not because his grades were for shit, but because there was a student from another country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they would be taking students with lower grades just to fill the seats, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Now, I don't want to sound flippant about this and, so on, but I mean, clearly, if you look at this in a completely removed way from the outside looking in, once again, it's an attack on brown, right? Anybody brown or darker, right? But it gets even worse because here's direct quotes. Institutions commit to defining and otherwise interpreting male, female, woman, and man according to reproductive function and biological process. First Amendment rights are also targeted, as anyone representing the university will abstain from actions or speech relating to societal and political events, except in cases in which external events have directly impacted the university itself. In other words, if you work for or are a student of the university and there's the anti-Kings movement going on, you better not be a part of it socially and in public.
Because the school would be, according to the contract, required to expel you.
Yeah.
Thought control.
Yeah.
It isn't for George Orwell alone.
Not even Pink Floyd. It's unbelievable. So, I mean, this does go on a little bit more into the depths of micromanagement that the current regime, administration, wants full control over higher education in all areas. And there is some parts in this, of course, which are very war on science, unless we agree with it as well.
Yeah.
Like, well, if it was science,
it's starting the conditioning for family values or conservative values early.
Yeah. Which means that small vocal group of Christians think that they're about to be in control of everyone's lives and bedrooms.
It's worth noting that the earlier thing you were talking about were gender roles and such.
Mm-hmm.
By extension, that could be applied to women's sports.
Yeah. Oh, very much. Yeah.
Cut all women's sports programs and any associated scholarships, because that's not a truly feminine undertaking.
No, exactly. It'll be back to home ec classes and stuff. No engineering, no nothing for you. And I mean, just look at modern Formula One auto racing. Some of the real top of the team thinkers and strategy and whatnot are females. You can't just pull them out of a good job because they should be at home. Blah. Shut the fuck up.
It's important to understand that the only reason a woman goes to university or college is to get her MRS degree. Everything else is unimportant.
Sadly, there's too many of these jerk-offs who think that way. And, historically, I mean, Mary Curie, Vera Rubin, and I could just go on and on and on. If these jerk-offs, let me just refresh my drink. Give me 1 second, gentlemen, and we will swap our turns around.
I mean, I did hear that Mary Curie was great in the kitchen. Could bake a great cake.
Does this cake taste funny? Well, as long as we're talking
Why is it
about
glowing?
the dystopian world that our government is trying to create,
Yeah.
I'll do this one. Reading from my prepared script. 14 West Africans were deported by the U.S. to Ghana and were subsequently returned to their home countries, which included Nigeria and Gambia, despite lawyers' warning that some face torture or execution if that were to occur.
Oh, shit.
The U.S. used Ghana deliberately as a third country to bypass law that would have prevented them from being sent directly home, thus sidestepping immigration court protections. Ghana's foreign minister defended the move as, get this, humanitarian principle and Pan-African empathy by sparing the deportees indefinite U.S. detention.
Huh?
Yeah. This arrangement illustrates how the current administration is using third country transfers to circumvent U.S. laws by outsourcing deportations which Ghana can't legally challenge. ICE practices are effectively becoming U.S. foreign policy, thus weakening domestic legal safeguards while shifting the responsibility for illegal activities abroad.
Oh.
Welcome to the new horror.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Yeah, sounds about right for our, you'll say your current administration.
Yeah. Holy. Now, if you're a real news hound and you're watching this, do us a favor and put a little search in. And I wouldn't doubt that there's some minor announcement about some, Trump business is going to do a thing or so, like it sounds to like, with Trump, it's give and take. So there's got to be something else besides them just, did they get a payment? Like there's got to be something.
Of course.
Unbelievable. No respect for humans whatsoever unless you're, in the clique.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to get a tattoo in the back of your neck saying, Trump forever. And, they just check that first.
Once there's no more people to deport because you've just overreached and done it, and then where else do you attack? Because this is a system of suppression, right? So where else do you go? You're going to keep going at the next poor sector and the next poor sector. How many people in a poor sector actually voted for this?
Now, why don't all immigrants in America at this moment in time just start wearing MAGA hats? Because that will confuse the ICE agents straight away.
Yeah.
I
know that the guy who does my neighbor's yard, who's from, I think it's Guatemala, I can't remember exactly.
Right.
Deliberately bought a pickup that had a Texas and a Second Amendment sticker in the windows.
Right.
Because, his thinking was, hey, that is one way that I can possibly get overlooked. And he's fully documented. That's the thing that gets me is even the fully documented legally, you just have the wrong color skin. We're sending you home.
Yeah.
Does he wear like a big 10-gallon hat and tries to put on a Texan accent?
Yeah. That's like the Mexican guy who wears white face, but you can see through the Fu Manchu mustache, right?
Mm.
But I can only imagine, imagine being somebody who comes from brown parents. You're born and raised in America, and yet every time you try to just go to get a coffee and a donut, you're looking over your shoulder because people in your community are just vanishing into these vans. I can't. Home of the free?
It's not, and it hasn't been for some time.
Yeah. Land of the brave? There's no bravery on display in this, except for the documented immigrants who are legally there standing up for themselves. They are
Amen.
brave by still going to work to support their families. But every single one of those I'm wearing a mask mofos has zero bravery at all. I'm surprised you can even get it stiff to pleasure your partner.
I mean, there was that crazy raid on an entire apartment block in Chicago last
The
week.
story is even weirder.
Really?
Yeah.
It gets worse?
Oh, yeah. That apartment block had gone into default, and the bank who owned it couldn't evict the residents because of a law, that Chicago has. So if you send ICE in and drag them all out, the building is now vacant. You can condemn it and knock it down.
Holy.
Do you think money changed hands? Do you think that might have happened? I don't know. Probably not. That's not the way this government operates.
Oh my God. How dirty is that game of pool?
No shit.
See, this is a kind of game that investigative journalists would like kick in on and then expose it all. But by the time they've done that, nobody cares and moved on to the next story. So you just can't keep up with it. Just can't keep up.
Yeah.
It will all come out in the future on the History Channel.
It's all space aliens took over his mind. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He's a glorious orange leader.
We're going to have 20 years of the History Channel dissecting the next 4 years. Or
Yeah,
years.
Oh,
I wonder
man.
if instead of being the Hitler channel, they'll become the Hegseth channel. Just wondering.
Could keep them on the air, But then again, I would see Pete Hegseth and company as diehard Ancient Aliens and Curse of Oak Island watchers. So I think the History Channel is totally fine. As long as they give Eric Von Däniken and Giorgio Tsoukalos a home to spew their BS, those idiots will be happy. Where should we go next?
Instead of how it's made, it'll be how they made America great again.
Yeah. The Mega Channel. Starring Pete Bad Breath. So, Dunk, where should we go next?
What a man. Hang on a minute. Oh, where's my shit? Yeah, this is a really weird story about a mother who has been interviewed under caution by the police for throwing away litter in a litter bin.
Huh?
Yeah. Apparently, she's facing fly tipping charges after collecting a small parcel from a collection point, taking off the plastic wrapper on the outside and putting it in a bin. That's considered fly tipping. It's home domestic.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I need this explained because cow tipping is when you tip over a sleeping cow. So fly tipping to me, I'm imagining somebody with Q-tips tipping over sleeping flies.
Yeah, it's a lot smaller scale, basically. Fly tipping is basically when you just like dump shit on the roadside or whatever like that. When you drive past
litter bug. Yeah.
We call littering.
Yeah.
So she's been investigated by the police over this. The council aren't backing down, and apparently because she was disposing what they consider domestic waste, which was the wrapper around her parcel, that's considered a crime. Apparently, who'd have thunk it? Eh? A public waste bin, and you're just throwing something away in the waste bin. And you're getting done for it. And she said it'd been better off if I just threw it on the ground.
Yeah.
That sounds to me suspiciously like the local constables aren't generating enough money from traffic fines, so we have to find some other way to generate the money.
The thing is the police didn't get involved until the bin was inspected by council waste disposal management. So Yeah, so basically they've they've unpacked the bin, found this wrapper that basically had her address label on it, so they could then chase her down. Yeah. So if she'd have taken the address label off, they wouldn't be able to trace her.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just sheer madness. Just sheer madness. Yeah, because basically what they're saying is because it's a plastic wrapper. There are plenty like what you would call soft plastic recycling places. You can you know when you go to your supermarket and they'll take plastic bags and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Apparently she was supposed to take it to one of those instead, but it doesn't say it's a public bin. It doesn't say anywhere on these bins what you are and aren't allowed to put in it. You can't. You can't.
Well.
That would seem like a perfectly reasonable defense that any judge would say, "Yep, you're right. Throw it out."
Yeah. As a pedestrian and a person that lives in the world, if there's recycle bins and a garbage receptacle, I will look at my stuff and act accordingly. But if there's just a bin for garbage, I don't want to carry some sticky or whatever wrapper. I just want to throw it out.
Yeah. It's very confusing because they're also saying this law applies to things like, crisp packets or what you would call chip packets, which are like a soft plastic. So if you buy a crisp packet and consume the insides and walk past the place, you walk past the bin on your way home. Apparently, you're supposed to keep it in your pocket and take it home and throw it away there, not put it in the public bins available.
Jesus.
Dear Lord.
I don't know. I'm just so confused. I've been trying to figure out exactly where the line is on this one because I'd be really confused. If you apparently you're just not allowed to throw away envelope. If you get an envelope, you're not allowed to put it in there. What? Hey, what? Because it's supposedly sent to your home, so you should get rid of it.
The obvious question is, what can you throw in there?
I don't know. I'd be confused.
I mean, yeah.
Bro, I tell you what you can throw away in there: dog shit.
Yeah.
In wrapped up bags. It specifically says you are allowed to throw away dog shit in a little bag, and you're allowed to put that in there.
That's a plastic receptacle, soft plastic.
Yeah, I know. It's like, do you take it out of the bag first? I'm confused.
Yeah. We agree with
full-fledged WTF moment.
Yeah, you're allowed to put the dog shit itself in the bin, but God forbid you put the bag you had to use to pick it up. So now you gotta dump the shit out of the bag and then somehow deal with this bag and not be a disgusting human until you get home.
That's when you take it to the supermarket and stuff it into their bag recycling bin.
Yeah, can I return this for my deposit?
And the whole supermarket stinks of dog shit.
Yeah.
I just say take the dog and have it shit in the supermarket and don't worry about the bag. Just walk away.
I'm going to take this one better. If this town council area region, whatever they're called, wants to be this fucking stupid about it, the next time you're unsure what to do with your garbage, recycling, and so on, maybe you should take it directly to City Hall and just put it on their front doorstep so that they can deal with it for you.
Yes, I wasn't quite sure what to do with it, so I just left it here. Thank you.
I've always wanted to use that line because it's from an old WKRP in Cincinnati episode.
Yeah.
And I finally found a moment where it fits.
Yeah. Anyway,
come on.
That's that story.
Crazy. On the parade.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. So let's flip into technology for a minute here, shall we? I think, hold on, Carpasian just sent in what looks to be an angry Baba Yaga doing the whole, I think that fits in pretty good. I want to flip us around to some technology here, Apple Computer, and This is a tough one, but I say bad apple. Here, hold on a second. Bad apple.
Naughty apple.
Yeah, man. Acting on demand of the Trump regime, administration. I have a really tough time with those words when the word Trump precedes one of them.
Heil Trump.
Yeah, exactly. So Apple has just removed apps from the App Store. You can't get them anymore at all. That let iPhone users, iPad users, iOS, Apple ecosystem users report the locations of ICE officers.
Yes.
And this was done not because of freedom of speech, blah, blah, yada, yada, insert argument here. It's dangerous for the officers and all this kind of stuff. Okay. Trump and company demanded this happen, and Apple bent the knee. Google did as well for the Play Store, so nobody's getting off here. So here's a quote from, I don't know, one of those stupid bimbos that sucked the ring of Trump. We reached out to Apple today demanding they remove Ice Block app from their app store. And Apple did so. That was Pam Bondi. And she said, ICE Block is designed to put ICE agents at risk just for doing their jobs. And violence against law enforcement is an intolerable red line that cannot be crossed. I'm sorry, Pam, but there is no evidence whatsoever that any of these apps ever brought violence to an ICE agent in any way, shape, or form. What you're pissed off about is that it alerts the community that if you're brown or don't look like a blonde, Aryan-raced white boy, to duck your head and cover for a minute.
Yeah, I've seen direct violence involved with ICE agents. With I don't know if it's due to this app, but I've seen people just dragged to the ground and beaten the crap out of by ICE agents. So is that the violence we're talking about here? I'm confused. I'm confused. Are we putting these poor little fatzos in danger by having people go up and go, no, Trump, ICE agents out, fuck off? Are they in danger? Are they the ones with the guns and the pepper spray and all that kind of shit? No, they're just people with signs. So get your fucking priorities right. Who's the real people in danger?
Yeah. Now,
scumbags.
Apple did also confirm that they heard from multiple law enforcement agencies about this as well. So there was some genuine concern about law enforcement people in this, but the app itself has not been proven in any way, because has anybody seen anybody commit acts of violence without it being a sandwich on an ICE officer? I don't think so. Right? So, but what they did continue to do, the Pam Bondi group, whatever, that's putting out these quotes and stuff, was they said the quiet part out loud yet again. Or not so much the quiet part, but they continued the lies, like the Democrats are doing the shutdown and so on and so forth, because they started
radical leftists.
Yeah. They started to blame the apps for the actions of the radical left that went at the prisoners at the ICE facility. They blamed the app that doesn't tell you where ICE facilities are. I mean, you could just simply look them up on the internet. You don't need an app for that.
I think most people know where they are because they're always standing around them.
Exactly. And the app doesn't do that. Plus, the app will only alert you to ICE presence within a small radius of where you are. It's purposely designed so that you can't have people use it to hunt where ICE are. You only know if it's in your area. Now, people can crowdfund the information or whatever and blah, blah, and I'm sure. But I haven't seen big, violent responses to ICE. All I've seen is people trying to get in their way legally as protesters.
Truth is what Pam Bondi says it is.
And you'll be a communist to think otherwise.
That's right. A godless communist.
Yeah,
a leftist communist.
Radical left.
when she tells you her panties don't stink at the end of a day, she's not lying.
As long as they stink in the nice way.
I don't think there's such a thing with her.
But the thing is, I was watching, our good old friend Mikado was out last night at Portland.
Yeah.
He was there live filming. Now I thought it was it was kind of mostly inactive. There was a kind of few times where people were getting tumbled around by the ICE agents or the whatever force it was there protecting them. I couldn't quite tell. It just said police on their jackets, and I don't think they were police. But anyway, one of the things I found fascinating about that is just there wasn't actually that many people there protesting. Not really that many. But the second thing was when they were out, being circled by the I should in air quotes police officers, all in riot gear and guns and everything. There were a couple of people behind them out filming the people. They had got their iPhones out and they were filming the faces of the crowd.
Yeah.
So that will go into databases. They'll put files together on all these people, and it's just like that sort of thing. It's just like that's getting a little bit fucking weird now. Not just having the people protesting, but they're going to be put into a file somewhere so they can track them and follow them.
Funny enough, because I have a thing that builds on that, and then we'll use this as a transition because Commander's got one that plays into this, correct?
Go for it.
ICE is now recruiting for a social media monitoring team. They are going to be checking 24/7 all accounts that they deem suspicious, suspect, so on. And after Doge and the absolute rape of America's personal data, they know exactly who to start looking at. This is about to get a lot more serious.
But don't they just need to subvert certain Facebook groups that might be talking about this sort of stuff, and then just picking up users?
Yeah. The last time I was on base at Fort Lewis, there was a table set up with 2 ICE agents behind it for recruiting people for ICE.
At the fort?
Yep.
And they didn't accept you?
No. But they're offering a $50,000 signing fee.
What? What the actual fuck?
Yep.
Fuck, I'd join.
Seriously?
I am very serious.
I didn't say I'd be very good at it, but I'd join for that. Yeah, wow, that's insane.
You'd be the first agent to shoot themselves in the foot on training day.
No, I'll shoot everybody else's foot first.
Yeah.
I mean,
$50K?
Yeah, but they have been giving like 18.
We're on our way to this address. Make sure nobody's there when we get there. We're about 20 minutes out.
I mean, they have been funded 18 billion or so. So I guess 50,000, per sign up isn't, it's nothing to them. But wow, even so,
I know
that's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the wages? If that's a sign up, what are the wage packets like? What's the healthcare plan like? That's the most important part.
It has to be on a standard federal scale, so your GS level. And my guess is most of the people are hiring are at the GS5 to GS7 level.
What's that work out at? What's that mean? What's it work out?
I don't know offhand, but you can look it up. But it's kind of like the same thing with TSA. They hire them at very low wage.
Right.
And then the longer you stay there, as you rise up to the ranks, become, a supervisor or something, then you start to see pay increases that make it a livable wage. But the entry level stuff is not terribly good.
Right.
Shit.
Yeah. I mean, 50K signing thing, that reeks of desperation. If you're that.
We had that in the Navy for reenlisting for some people, depending on their specialties and their rank.
Okay.
It's common for the federal government to use that kind of a incentive to get people to stay on or to join.
But re-enlisting and stuff to keep the skill set until it's passed on and whatnot is a lot more valuable than just, hey, have you ever been trained to be a tough guy? All right, come on, right? You know,
yeah. Let me check you out by throwing a sandwich at you. See how you.
At the worst times when recruiting was falling well below requirements, I recall that they were offering, and this is decades ago, like 20 grand. So I see that Dick has had to run off.
Oh, so I didn't see that.
I was being quick as I could there, as quick as I could there. Yeah. I forgot to finish doing the upgrade on the other little fridge I have to quieten the fan so that I can have a fridge again. I want to get rid of the Coca-Cola fridge just because it's so brand namey. I mean, it kind of looks cool, but I don't even drink Coca-Cola. It's kind of stupid. You know, I've got another one that looks like an Xbox game system, but I guess that's another can of worms.
To put over the Coca-Cola part.
Trumpy Cola.
No. What's the one they use in the
Nuka-Cola?
Nuka-Cola, that's right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I suppose I could, right? You know, I could turn the Coke bottle into.
We'll all be looking for Nuka-Cola caps sometime soon.
Yeah.
So, where are we here? I can't even remember whose turn is
real
next.
downer if you want one.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, cheer us up, you bastard.
Stand by, chillins. Okay. For background purposes, in April of 2023, a civil war erupted between two factions in the military government of Sudan. The current government, Sudanese Armed Forces, under General, I'll get these names wrong, give me a while, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, which is largely comprised of Salafist sect and Messianic ethnic, and that of his role was in charge of the Rapid Support Forces, or the RSF as it's called, under General Hamdan Dagalo. And his faction comprises most other Sudanese ethnicities, which are predominantly Sufist. So Salafist and Sufist are two sects within Sunni Islam who don't necessarily get along well. It's important to clarify that this war is not a continuation of or associated with the first or second Sudanese civil wars, which were fought years ago, decades ago, largely between northern Muslim population and the southern Christian animist regions of the country.
Jesus.
That eventually led to the independence of South Sudan. This war is between the western and eastern portions of Sudan. The western portion, where much of the fighting is occurring now, and that's the rebel group, is called Darfur, which you may have heard reference to when, the South Sudan issue was going on. Anyway, last month, top UN humanitarian officials in Sudan warned of an impending catastrophe in Darfur. Across Sudan, more than 12 million people have been uprooted, making it the world's largest refugee crisis at the present time.
Wow.
Yeah, 12 million displaced people. Since the struggle between government troops and the rival Rapid Support Forces militia, NGO aid convoys for the refugees have been frequently targeted by both sides' fighters trying to seize supplies for themselves. Aid workers have had to divert through 3 different countries to reach the impacted area because the front lines are so convoluted.
Wow.
And more than 120 aid workers have been killed over the roughly 2.5 years the conflict has been raging. There's also widespread war-related sexual violence targeting refugees throughout the region. Some estimates were suggesting upwards of 60 to 70% of women in the area have been raped.
Oh, for the love of... What the...
Really awful shit. Anyway.
What's the prime focus here? Is this cultural, religious? What's up?
It's a combination of religious and ethnic. So the western portion, Darfur, is of one sect, and they identify differently and they speak different languages than the eastern portion, which is more a different sect and more Arabic oriented, I think would be the way to say it.
Is it too much of an offhanded slap remark to say, is it coming down to like smaller differences, like semantics in a way, but it's boiled up like,
No, what the real reasons are is different factions want power and they don't want to share it with their rivals.
So it's standard stuff.
Right. And so they're using their homies to generate their armies. That's kind of what's going on. And because both factions are currently dead poor, the way they get around that is by kind of turning a blind eye to mass rape, attacking food convoys, that kind of thing.
Right. Anything they can gain is worth, just don't tell me about it. Just do it.
It's not organized. It's I can't pay you, but you go ahead and have fun.
Right. Which is unbelievably bad and horrible because that's where you get the worst.
Right. So the worst affected area of the country is El Fasher, the large major city in Darfur province that's still under government control. There are currently roughly 260 civilians trapped inside that city area without safe exit routes. Aid convoys with supplies bound for El Fasher have been blocked for months by the Rapid Support Force faction who are besieging the government troops inside the city. The situation has become critical because in addition to starvation, access to clean water is also, access to clean water is also severely limited in the overcrowded refugee camps in the city. This in turn leads to incredibly poor sanitation that has resulted in massive outbreaks of cholera and dengue fever. And the crisis is even worsened by the fact of severe shortfalls in funding, with NGOs being able to raise only about 25% of the amount that they felt was necessary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a humanitarian tragedy ongoing that the world is largely doing this to because of other more
more
newsworthy
issues.
crises.
Yeah, well, it's not just more newsworthy, but it's the stuff they figure they're going to get the clicks and profit on.
Yeah, but there's also, and there has been, and forgive me for using the phrase, but this is from the old British colonial days. And it was 1 Brit, 2 frogs, or 100 wogs.
Right.
That's what you could write a story for the paper about.
Right. Yeah. Unbelievable. I had no clue at all. Right. And I try to be well-rounded in my news,
I mean, I have to admit, before I did the research for this little tidbit that I did, I was vaguely aware that, yeah, there was a war going on between the Eastern and Western factions, but I had no idea that it was anything more than, minor skirmishing or anything. No, this is a big foregone conclusion of banditry and brigandage and all the other stuff that goes along with a war that isn't being fought by professional armies.
And there's no sort of like international intervention going on whatsoever to try to help.
Nothing.
And that's one of the reasons so many NGO aid workers have been killed, is because there's nobody there providing escort for the aid convoys.
Wow.
No UN.
Yeah. So the only way to really get aid escort is you hire the same bandits who would attack you to be your escorts as you go through their territory.
Wow.
And then when you get to the next guys, you hire his, even though the two factions are at war with one another, they won't shoot each other as long as, you're escorting the convoy through, providing they get their cut of
I was just going to say there's probably a decent cut to be paid.
Oh, huge. Yeah, you can pretty much count on less than 50% of what the convoy starts out with actually making it to the destination because of outright theft and donations.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets to the point where you wonder why did they even bother trying?
Yeah.
I know it sounds absolutely cruel, but it's like, well, it's fucking dangerous for these people to do this, and
that's been one of the arguments that these post-colonial wars, and that's what this kind of is. These post-colonial wars, you let themselves sort themselves out, because you don't want to get involved, because the moment you do, then you're back to being a colonial power trying to favor one faction over another.
Yeah. Because that was going to be my next question, because, like you say, it's post-colonial. What about if it was still a colony? Would it be in a safer place? Would it have been under better control? Or would that have been like an extra third bugger to the whole system?
Sudan's always been in this weird nebulous zone where it was kind of influenced by British-controlled Egypt, and they occasionally send, raids down to punish the unruly inhabitants of Sudan, but they never actually really settled the place. And so it just became easier when they were pulling out of Egypt, because the only reason they were going into Sudan was to keep the Egyptian side of the border safe from the incursions of the Sudanese. And so when Britain pulled out of Egypt, there was no reason for them to continue mounting raids into Sudan to keep the bandits suppressed.
Yeah.
And, it was almost a foregone conclusion that something like this would happen, as factions in a country that was kind of, the borders were drawn by Europeans, that made no sense along cultural, linguistic, religious lines.
Right.
That fighting was going to break out, and jeepers, that's what happened.
It's what's kind of interesting that's coming out of this, and I was talking to Dick about this the other day, is that we have so many right-wing governments coming to the forefront of European politics, and their argument is, stop the immigrants, don't let the immigrants in. And the only reason why we're getting immigrants is because of things like this that are happening in the world, and no one seems to be trying to solve that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's you have to start looking at it like, are you wanting to thin that part of the herd? Is this on purpose, or because otherwise, why wouldn't we take a little excess and do what America always did so well, was provide and support and show that a democratic way of existing is probably what you should be going for. Because look, we have to give to you, and all, right, Commander?
Yeah, no, I agree. The one that I think is interesting to consider is the fact that British colonies seem to have come out of these messes the best, because the British made at least some effort to train a civilian governmental service corps to run the country, and they headed those departments and bureaus up. And when they left, it was simple to promote somebody from that rank and file to become the manager of that governmental bureau and just continue running it.
Makes sense.
So, for example, you take a look at India. India is, somebody told me there was something like 900 separate dialects and languages in the country, where a village that's less than a mile from the next village over literally cannot communicate with one another because of the language difficulties, the ethnicities, the multiplicity of religions. And yet, by and large, India has remained fairly stable. Yeah, it squabbles with Pakistan frequently, but that's a different country.
Yeah, the diversity within India, once you understand it a bit, even just a little bit, makes you wonder, how have they achieved this longevity of unity as a country and stuff?
Oh, and it's important to remember, they even have an element that nobody else really around the world has that makes it even harder: the caste system.
Yeah.
And one of the jokes when I lived there used to be, one of the first things any Indian you meet will tell you is that there's no longer a caste system. And then in the very next sentence, he'll tell you which, I'm a Brahmin or what have you.
Right.
And that does not register in their mental faculties as being
at odds,
contradictory.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that makes Sudan so bad, is you had not just a mismanaged colonial government, you really effectively had no colonial government at all. And once the security forces that had kind of kept order in the region left, everybody immediately like, oh, I hate those assholes. Let's go steal their cows.
Right. Yeah, the true depth of humanity comes to the surface real quick, right?
Now, I'm assuming you're not saying that Britain should go back in as a
no.
Bring back the empire.
Yeah, but at the same time, I would wish that the UN would do something where you find these failed or failing states and go in and somehow try to bring them up. It's a long process. It'll take generations to do it, but to bring them into family of, civilized nations. I hate using that word.
Yeah.
It really applies here. And to bring those countries up to a point where they can govern themselves without having to resort to violence to solve every domestic problem.
Yeah.
Well, let's face it, that's what the UN was. That was its intention on the outset, but it seems to have been powerless over the,
That got left by the wayside on the road several decades back.
Yeah.
It became a members
moral ideas.
It became a members only club, right?
Effectively, yeah.
Which is sad.
The big players always have a voice. In the little countries, nobody even wants to hear when they speak.
Yeah. Where should we go next here? Dunk, I think you're up, aren't you?
Oh, I'll go to me. Why not?
Fuck, you're just Mr. Eeyore today. I'm changing your name.
Yeah. Well, I got a story here. It's a bit of a Spinal Tap type story. Someone ordered.
Oh, Dunk, sorry. Before you get going, I totally screwed up. I was supposed to do a thing before we change over. First off, UTV and Hams in with a shout out there in the live chat. Doing what I can to resist and help those in need. Oh, love it, UTV, love it. I do believe that does mean I have to look at our fundraisers. So first off, let me just refresh the screen so we're at the most current update. We've got our Car for Ukraine fundraiser going. We're up to 500 euros so far. Big thanks, everybody. We'll be dropping the link in the description. But on this show here, that's not truly our main focus in fundraising, because we've got the fundraiser for our very own team going. We're trying to generate 1,800. We're at 1,300 so far. So very, very well done, everybody. Let me get the hearts up on the screen there for sure. We had a donation in an hour ago, but let me just refresh the screen here and let's see what it says. Okay, so yes. So we have UTV and Ham in with another donation to the team fundraiser. Wow, it's supposed to be the boom. Every now and then my button resets itself to the cricket sound, unfortunately, but huge shout out to UTV and Ham. We're at 1331 on the team fundraiser. We'll get the link in the live chat, and we'll also get it in the description, just in case you're somebody that can chip in. And Spider Fate in the chat is saying the anonymous just before UTV and Ham there is Spider Fate's donation. So another big round of applause. Thank you, Spider Fate, indeed. And Dunk, we'll get back to yourself there. Sorry.
I've done it now.
You've done what? Gone to the bathroom all by yourself? Oh, let's give him a round of applause.
I did the story while you were doing that. In my head.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing.
No, anyway, so this guy, you remember Thunderbirds?
The puppets, the marionettes.
4, 3. Yeah. So anyway, this guy, he won an eBay bid or some kind of auction for a model of Thunderbird 3. And and he was asked to go to Blackpool to go and pick it up. Yeah. Okay. And then he turns up. He said, "Oh," and they say, "Oh, have you got a truck?" He goes, "What? Have you got a truck?" It turns out, let me put this in the green room. It turns out he bought in auction a full-size mock-up of Thunderbird 3 rocket that was being used on the Blackpool illuminations.
Oh my! He thought he was going to put that in like a Peugeot or something.
Yeah. He just put it in a box.
It was a model.
Yeah, it was a model. Yeah. I mean, how the fuck this happened? I don't know. I mean,
what pictures did they show him? Because that looks right life size to me. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know how this can happen.
It's one of those programs that you can blot out the background and
Yeah, I forgot what you call it. Tilt shift photography, where you make it look like small and tiny. He says it's quite funny because we heard we'd bought a model, didn't even bother checking. He said, and it was had been used in the Blackpool illuminations display.
You could turn that into a bed and breakfast, man.
So they took him out. They took him around the back of a Humberside airport. This great big.
Can you imagine the waivers you'd had to get from a highway department to move that thing?
Oh shit!
I am not. I think is what I'm not getting from this story when he won the auction to buy it is how much he paid for it. When you think you're buying
if he won that for like 60 quid, man, holy shit, right?
It's probably something on that level because everybody else look. Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. It's freaking huge. I don't want it.
Yeah, Yeah, we just want to
Poor
get
guy
we just,
like, oh,
we
yeah.
just we just want to get rid of it, you know.
Yeah. And then he shows
They'll
up in
pay
a
you.
Golf. You know?
It's like when the Navy has ships that they want scrapped. They can't give them to people, so
Yeah.
they'll like sell the ship to them for $1,
Yeah.
and then it's
Yeah.
up to the company that bought it to tow it all the way to the wrecker's yard.
And
it
tear
costs
it down. Could you
Well, to
imagine?
be honest, there's a lot of good money in one of those because
Mm.
you know all that steel and all the other stuff you can get out of it.
Yeah,
think of
yeah.
all the immigrants you could prison in there.
That's like
Oh.
that's like showing up to
Don't
buy
give them ideas, please.
That's like showing up to buy a model of the Saturn V and saying, "Oh, Mr. Von Braun."
Well, I mean, it's like the movie. What was it called? Shit. It's gone from my head now. But they use an abandoned aircraft carrier to film the movie in. What was the one with Bruce Dern when he's on the spaceship?
Imagine buying that set.
Yeah. They basically just like, moved into an aircraft carrier and turned it into a studio.
Wow.
The name of the
Big
movie
enough, you
escapes
could
me now.
easily do it, and there's room for all the offices. If you want berthing compartments for people to sleep in, we got them.
Yeah. It was fantastic.
An aircraft carrier is meant to house like what, a couple thousand people or something?
Yeah.
Modern carriers between 4,000 to 6,000.
Holy shit, man. That's a city.
Depending on how big the air wing you embark is and whether you're bringing, ground troops for special missions and that kind of crap.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the movie. I just remembered it was the movie Silent Running, which is about all those space arcs in space with all the forests.
Isn't that about Jamaicans and bobsleds?
No, that's something else.
That's Cool Runnings.
Cool Running.
Yeah.
Amen. Okay, we're approaching my eject time, so I've got one story to close us out, which is a nice story.
Perfect.
Then I can throw the big finger at you, dude.
Well, the objective here is an hour and a half live because it sells better after to people that weren't here to watch it live. As soon as you go over that 90-minute mark, YouTube's algorithm kind of makes it like nobody's going to watch that anyway,
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay, without further ado, farmers near Yellowstone National Park have been struggling with wolves attacking their livestock, but they are prohibited from harming the protected wolves. So instead, they've turned to technology and Hollywood to help keep the predators away.
Ooh.
Starting in August, they began using quadcopter drones equipped with speakers, blaring AC/DC songs, audio from the Scarlett Johansson, Adam Driver 2019 movie Marriage Story.
What?
Oh, well, they're trying to dull them to sleep.
Yeah, apparently the film clip seems to be working quite well because the cows get very nervous with the sound of humans arguing, so they go away. And obviously AC/DC music is so obnoxious that nobody can stand it.
Now, the parts from the movie, is that like backstage people arguing, or is it actually
it's part of the actual movie. I haven't seen the movie, but apparently, they're like a married couple or something.
But wait, they're playing the cows? Not I thought it was the wolves that
they're away the wolves.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it seems to be working because since the deployment of these quadcopters, the number of cows killed by wolves in southern Oregon has fallen from 11 over a 20-day period to just 2 over a 90-day period.
Wow.
Also, cinema tickets for Adam Sandler films has gone up.
Yeah, we have to charge them. It's part of this Screen Actors Guild
And you stop
requires.
howling in the back row, please.
Now, if you apply some science to this, wolves and coyotes alike both have very good ears. So I would suggest that they start playing Slayer, because quite often Slayer go out of key, especially on the guitar solos, and there's no way they're going to enjoy that stuff. Try Slayer.
Oh no, Celine Dion, because then at least they could sing along.
Ooh. That's harsh, man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and then the pack never breeds.
I thought that was a really neat story because A, the farmers' livestock isn't getting killed, and B, the wolves aren't getting killed.
Yeah. And C, anybody camping in the areas gets to rock out to AC/DC.
The mountains are being full with long-haired morons. AC/DC.
Yeah. School.
Hey, it's a free concert in the mountains. Let's go.
Long-haired people in schoolboy outfits that can't stop rocking, man.
Oh, brilliant.
Funny thing to tack onto the end of that. When I was a kid and I first figured out who AC/DC was, it was a very strange moment because Back in Black had come out and AC/DC had struck big in North America. And so what did they do? They re-released Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, which is an album from the previous singer because, Bon Scott, Brian Johnson, right? And it was a little confusing on who's who and what's what. And it was like not everybody noticed, but it was, why is there, I can hear it's two different singers. What? I don't get it. I didn't know somebody had died. I had no clue, right?
Yeah, but the wolves can tell the difference. They know.
Now, do the wolves prefer Bon Scott or Brian Johnson?
That's a question that's burning a hole in everybody's mind.
I believe they're Bon Scott to the end. I believe they're traditionalists.
They're all long-haired.
But why are we leaving it up to Australians to take care of American cows? Think about it.
Trump will put a tariff on that.
If you play AC/DC from a drone or a helicopter to scare away a dog-like animal from a cow-like animal, you will pay a tariff.
Well, Trump has brought up again, quick before Commander goes, but Trump has brought up again the tariffs, 100% tariff on films from outside the US. He might actually just start doing that with the music as well.
Yeah. Can I just ask, Dunk, what industry do you work in?
The film industry.
That's correct. And where do you live right now?
Was this for the $1,000?
Yes. Where do you live right now, Dunk?
I live in the United Kingdom, the greater colonies.
That's 2 in a row, buddy. You're doing amazing. And who?
2000 now.
Where do the companies that you predominantly work for exist?
Oh shit! Can I phone a friend on that one?
You might have to.
Yeah.
The audience.
I would say predominantly America.
Yeah, so are they going to tariff your hourly wage? How's this going to fucking work?
Yeah, I'm gonna pay Trump to work on the movie.
Can you imagine? Hey, Donald. Yeah, I just put in a 20-hour week, so here's your $80, you fat bastard.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, Commander, any thoughts as we wrap up here?
It's a depressing dystopian world, and things are only getting worse. So start drinking heavily now to avoid the rush.
I do believe that is an excellent classic rock song in waiting. Somebody write it.
No, Okay, there was a classic rock song that was used by the Labour Party back in, oh God, idiot days long ago, which was like, things can only get better. Yeah, that was their rock song back then. I don't think it's gonna be the same thing now. Things can only get more fucked up every day.
I couldn't agree
I'm
more.
pretty sure there's a song in the Eurythmics soundtrack to the movie 1984 that would cover exactly what you're asking.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Trying to think what that was.
I'll send you a link right after the show, but I'm going to have to hum the melody into one of those fucking apps for it to come up.
My favorite is Room 101. You can't listen to that without getting...
Well, I don't think it was Sweet Dreams.
Oh, that wasn't part of the soundtrack.
No, but Annie and what's his name there, man, could they craft
Stewart.
a tune? Yeah. Holy, so good. Let's see. Dunk.
What?
I don't know. You're supposed to say something.
I just did.
Well, you did kind of.
I can say something else if you want.
Well, yeah, I thought you were going to go all Jorgen.
No, I couldn't go again. This whole fucking Trump thing it just keeps devolving into more madness and more madness and more madness. I heard on the grapevine that apparently he's going to make it illegal to be an atheist in the United States, and then you're now a terrorist if you're an atheist because you don't believe in the Jesus and God.
I see
like he does.
Huge surge in the number of people who subscribe to the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
Hey, I, for one, believe that the baby Jeebas tie-dyed for my sins.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that before. That's a good...
I just made it up.
I heard he was a beardo, so Hegseth hates him. And he was brown. Fucking immigrant.
Well, yeah, but they have a picture of him at my church, and he's totally Aryan.
Yeah.
I love how the images of him evolve over time until, he looks like something that the Hitler Youth would be seeing.
No, some guy born in the Middle East 2,000 years ago is whiter than I am. How is that even possible?
I thought the swastika armband was too far for Jesus.
Just a little.
He died on a cross. He just happens to have all those extra legs on it.
Yeah. If only we had got a picture of it when he was kicking ass in that synagogue,
Loaves, fishes, dead bodies. It's all the same thing.
So we're going to get out of here. Thanks to everybody for joining us. Thanks to our supporters, especially on the fundraiser. That really means a lot. We're really trying to help out the team that help us out a lot. So it's a damn good thing. We got to thank our team. Speaking of which, we got Mexi Girl on the Shills account tonight, PJ CNET, David Worley, Carpasian The AI Alchemist, who does the funny images that we get to bring up and stuff. We got Jose and Super Chat Matt as well. So thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks for all the support and stuff. Hit like, hit share, hit subscribe, and thanks guys for joining.
Yeah, and don't forget to stay shilly.
Good call, buddy. See you soon, everybody.
Au revoir.
You couldn't spell that today. Whoa.